Hello and welcome to another Jovi TV video. As you can see, I'm sitting here in one of the many very well maintained city parks, and at my feet is this surface with the protruding rocks. You can see down there that if you walked along this surface, you could get what is something like a foot massage. I see it all the time, people walking on this surface to make their feet feel better. It's pretty cool. In this video, I'm addressing a question that I've had from my caring friends and family back home. And that question is, does the situation in North Korea make you concerned? Or does the situation in North Korea put your safety in danger? And that question comes from two places. One, does the proximity to a country that has a leader who is testing missiles, making threats to shoot off missiles, put my life in any more danger? Will I get hit by a missile? And that question is also reasonable because if the situation escalates further, will the United States, my home country, be on the opposite side of the conflict from the country I'm living in now, China? I don't know the answer to either of those questions right now. I can't say for sure. But right now, things are fine. The only difference between my situation now and the situation of any expat living in China at most recent past is that I can't go to North Korea. The State Department of the United States issued a, referendum which said that they wouldn't recognize passports. North Korea wouldn't recognize US passports. So, oh well, I can't go to North Korea. I had no definitive plans to go there in the first place. So as of now, it could get worse, but it's not definite. And my perspective on this issue is something that I've borrowed from a book I've been reading lately called The Tao of Seneca. My favorite author posted it on his blog, and I've picked it up and read it every day. It's very helpful. It's based on Stoic philosophy, and I've developed a perspective which I feel like has given me a lot of peace surrounding every time I think about what might happen because of the situation in North Korea, what might happen to me as an expat in China. So right now, things are fine. There's a possibility that things won't always be fine surrounding the North Korea situation. And in the Tao of Seneca, he writes, consider whether your proofs of future trouble are sure. I can't say that things will get any more serious having to do with the North Korea situation. So I'm considering whether it's for sure that it's going to get worse. And I don't know if it is. So there's no point in me worrying about it right now. We know that North Korea has missiles, and they're testing missiles and trying to strengthen their nuclear arsenal. But we're not sure that the leader of North Korea will carry out on the threats that he's made. Seneca also writes, related to this point, bad fortune is sometimes fickle. Perhaps the trouble will happen, perhaps it will not. In the meantime, it is not. In this situation, there are so many variables, so many possibilities of things that could happen, so many people involved, so many cultures involved. And I'm not a world leader. I have no relationship with North Korea, so I really have no control or really very little influence on the situation. Therefore, stating again, it does me no good to worry about whether this situation might get worse. So let's look ahead. Let's answer this question more fully, and let's pretend that I receive information that tells me that a global escalated conflict is completely imminent and it's bound to happen soon. Well, that would mean that it may become much more difficult for me as a foreigner to live in China. I might get treated differently. People might see me and think, oh gosh, you're the enemy. And I get more solace when I consider this possibility from more of Seneca's writing. In one part of the Tao of Seneca, he says, what does it avail to run out and meet your suffering? So relating this to an imminent war among North Korea, China, the United States, and all the other global powers, it really doesn't do me any good right now, before I have that information, to start acting like things have gotten a lot worse, or that as a foreigner I'm going to be treated any differently based on a possibility or something that hasn't happened yet. Or maybe it will happen, and I'm sure it will happen, but it still hasn't happened yet. I'm not going to run out and meet it. In fact, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to take this time as borrowed time. The hourglass is turned over. My time here in China is limited, so I'm going to make the best out of it and learn as much as I possibly can. I'm on borrowed time here. That's what it would be like. So I'm going to act like it. I'm not going to start preparing for something later, something that hasn't taken place yet. So that's my perspective that comes from the Tao of Seneca, a great book that I'm reading right now, on whether I need to worry about the escalating situation in North Korea as a foreigner living in China when I come home in a few months. This is Jovi TV signing off.